Most people set goals at the end of the year. Very few can tell you why those goals matter or where they're actually headed. They're busy, they're productive, but they are not intentional. If you've ever ended a year exhausted, checking boxes, but wondering, did I really move the needle? This episode is for you. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact system I use to move from long-term life direction to daily action without overwhelm and without drifting. Welcome back to the Modern Leadership Solutions podcast, where we can help you lead with clarity, intentionality, and confidence. I'm Tom DeBell, and today I want to walk you through how I turn a life plan into daily action, step by step, so my goals actually support the life I want to live, not just a longer to-do list. So let's start with why goals without direction don't work. Most goals fails not because people lack discipline, but because they lack direction. This is the difference between resolutions and aligned goals. Resolutions usually sound like, I need to do better next year, or I should focus more, or I want to get healthier somehow. Aligned goals, on the other hand, flow from a clear life direction. So here's the key idea. Direction precedes discipline. When you know where you're going, discipline becomes easier and honestly more meaningful. And this is where leadership really begins. Before you can effectively lead others, you have to learn to lead yourself. So step one is to assess your current condition. Every year before I set a single goal, I start with an assessment. I use the Full Focus Life Score Assessment, which looks at 9 key life domains to figure out, where am I right now? Why start here? Because honesty beats optimism or wishful thinking at this stage. This isn't about judging yourself. It's about telling yourself the truth. Where are you? One important note about these assessments. I'm not looking for perfect scores. I'm looking for patterns and trends over time. A single score doesn't tell the whole story, but directionally, it tells me where my attention actually needs to go and which life domains need my attention when setting goals for the year. This step alone creates clarity, and clarity reduces anxiety. Next, I revisit my long-term life plan. This includes a 10-year vision broken into 5 and 3-year milestones. And let me say this clearly, you are not planning perfection here. You're planning direction. Life will change. Priorities will shift. That's normal. The goal isn't to lock yourself into a rigid future. It's to make sure next year supports the life you say you want long term. And here's a freeing insight. You don't need to improve everything at once. You just need to know what matters most right now. From there, I select 6 to 8 annual goals, each tied directly to life domains that I've determined need my attention. Remember step 1? This is where many people get uncomfortable. They want balance, equal attention across all the domains. But what actually works is focus. Focus doesn't mean neglect, it means intentional emphasis. And here's a spoiler alert. I don't set goals in all 9 life domains. That type of balance doesn't allow focus. It's too much stuff. Those 6 to 8 annual goals then get broken into quarterly goals, usually 2 to 3 per quarter. Why? Because quarterly goals are actionable. Annual goals are directional, but quarters are where the execution happens. So step 4 is where the full focus system really shines. Here, the quarterly goals roll into both weekly planning and the daily priorities. Now here's what most people miss. This process removes decision fatigue. You are no longer waking up asking, what should I do today? You already decided when you were calm, focused, and thinking clearly. At this point, you can trust the system and focus on execution. And yes, this might sound complex, but in practice, it actually simplifies everything. There's less noise, fewer distractions, and more intentional progress. So, why does this matter? Let's tie back to leadership. When you have clarity, you make better decisions, you react less emotionally, and you lead with confidence instead of urgency. You move from frantic to focused, intentional planning. This reduces stress. Stressed leaders rarely lead well. Leaders with direction don't just produce results, they create stability for the people around them. And that matters. Now, before I close this episode, let me shift gears for a minute and talk a little bit about what's coming for this podcast. As we move forward, I'll start bringing guests into the conversation, representing different industries, different leadership journeys, and different perspectives. Because modern leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about learning continuously and intentionally. And that's the mission of this podcast, intentional growth, not noise. So in wrapping this episode up, let me encourage you in this. Before you set a single goal for next year, pause. Assess your current condition. Then consider your long-term direction. Because direction creates clarity, and progress always starts with clarity. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Modern Leadership Solutions Podcast.